Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. We're on the creative world once more and we've been doing some more building. I wanted to try and detail some houses a lot more. I've been building a lot of the houses and starter bases, just like you can see behind us, which was from our last starter base video. But I wanted to try some fancier kind of builds with a little bit more whimsy. Make it look a little bit more magical. So I tasked myself with trying to build a house as quickly as possible with as much detail as possible. So I actually built the next house you are going to see in just under 2 hours, which I was pretty happy with. Well, I mean, the exterior was just under 2 hours. The interior was a little bit longer, but you know, doesn't really count. So without further ado, let's have a look at this weird block palette that I decided to choose, and I'll show you the time lapse, and then afterwards I'll talk a little bit about the build. Let's go! So behind me we have the final build. There it is, our detailed, whimsical wizard house. I love the little smoke particles I've done up here, as always. But yeah, we can see I've done a whole bunch of detail around this house, even the roof. We don't have a lot of this color blue block, so I kind of had to improvise a little bit. We used tube coral blocks, so not exactly survival friendly. But I've also used some tube coral things to give a little bit of texture, as well as like blue glazed terracotta and lapis to kind of shade the roof a little bit. Now my favorite kind of element of it is the orange contrasting with the blue, because they're like opposite sides of the color wheel, so they go really well together, they just pop out. And then we've also got a bit of an accent color of the dark oak, which we've got the chimney up there and then a few little bits of details just to give it around. But it looks really nice, like it's, I don't know, like cozy, magical, which I don't know, I'm very happy with this build, the detail I put in. Now I didn't quite finish like all the back as per usual, but I did add a few windows, mainly because I did the interior, so the windows had to be added just for light, and you can see a little bit of the interior peeking in through there, but that's perfect. But yeah, a lot of the detail we've got here, I used things like the resin brick walls, orange candles, even just a bunch of different buttons and signs. I even put some torch flowers because they kind of had the same like idea and vibe for the whole color palette of this house, which was perfect. Another weird block I used with cocoa beans, because I just needed something that was a bit bigger than, you know, candles or fences, but not quite too big as like walls. So it was a pretty good in between to have the cocoa powder, or cocoa beans even. In the back as well, we've got some little bits of depth I've done with stairs, and then also some detailing with chiseled quartz, which I don't use very often, but the block actually fits really well with the whole aesthetic of this house that I went through, or went for. Now we've got the little path as well, which is just made from a few buttons and trapdoors to kind of give a stony look. We use some raw iron over there as well. Again, this isn't a survival friendly build at all, though you could do something similar, but you'd have to use a lot of lapis blocks and not a lot of texturing. But yeah, mainly I've used candles and different weird blocks that, you know, just small things that I can get little bits of detail to kind of give that very hand-painted, chiseled look, like it was done with a lot of care. And I did do it with a lot of care. This build took me a while. Even though, you know, maybe not... Oh, got a straggler there. It may not be as long as some of my other builds we've done, but the amount of time I spent in trying to figure out the detail and how it could work, and oh no! It's gonna spread! No! Oh! So I didn't have block updates on, which means, okay, I think alright, we might be okay. Oh, stop the spread, okay? What we're gonna have to do is this. Hang on. Operation, we're gonna fix this. Quick. Okay, bam. Now hopefully, I think we're safe. I think we fixed it. We can put a couple things there as well. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, that happened once as well, which you might have seen in the time lapse. I don't know if I kept it in, but the whole back of the roof started turning. It just spread. It was horrible. Now, speaking of the roof, the chimney up here, I love the shape of it. I literally just placed a bunch of blocks like I do with trees. And it looks a bit like a tree trunk, but yeah, and then I just curved out the edges with some stairs up here, but it gives a really cool, like, vroom, you know, vroom look. You get what I mean. Whimsical, even. And, oh, it doesn't have a thingo, an opening. But that's alright, it's magic smoke in a magic chimney with a magic house. And speaking of the chimney, good segue into the interior. No updates. We've got the whole interior here. So when you walk in, it's a big staircase up. We've got a bit of a storage room here, just a whole bunch of easily accessible storage. I don't do interiors a lot, but I wanted to do one for this house because I felt like it deserved it. Some of the cool new paintings, which I don't get to try out a lot. So we've got a few of them scattered around. And you go up here, and why I said a good segue for the chimney, because on a fluke, I decided to chuck this cauldron here, and it matched up perfectly with the chimney. It just, like, I wanted it here because it fit the best for the interior that I decided to do, but it matched up perfectly with the chimney, so such a sign. I loved it. Got a nether portal here, which I kind of framed it a bit with some white pale oak, because it made it pop out a little bit more, and it's just a nice, easily accessible interior. Now we did miss down here because there's a whole back section here. Honestly, didn't know what to put here. So yeah, there's a big empty space here, even like a little under stair room up here. But this whole area is empty, so maybe storage or anything like that, though there is quite a lot of storage here. But yeah, upstairs we've got, you know, the bloody cauldron, the nether portal and some furnaces. Some little decorations here and there, nothing major. And we've got our lovely balcony that looks over our world, and don't mind the tree. That's just, I got bored and built a little amethyst tree. Very purple. We can look over all of our previous builds that we've done in this world. And then up a little bit more down these up these very safe stairs. We've got the bedroom area with a lovely enchanting area. Very wizardy, I would say. And the wizard's bed and some, I guess, magic rocks or something around with the resin. And then, yeah, lovely windows just all around, looking over the world. And some more paintings that I framed with some slabs, which I thought was a pretty cool detail. And it also helped get a bunch of light around because it was struggling for light because of how tall the ceilings are. But yeah, that is the whole interior. It was a quick little walkthrough. But it took me ages to make. I'm not very good with interiors, not very quick, but this one looks pretty good, so I'm happy with that, even though not fully finished technically. But yeah, anyway, back to the exterior of the house, which was the main point of interest, the main detail that I tried. Not that I didn't finish this smoke up here, but it wasn't the main part of the house, so it was just a bit of like a balancing thing for the build that I feel just helps it frame, and oh, we lose our entities if we go too far. Helps frame the builds. And speaking of framing in the environment, we've got our lovely rock that it sits on. This was just a random thing. I was trying out a few tools and I just wanted to try and make a rock. So, I mean, we did that. Made a nice rock up here. Not very accessible. And actually, speaking of the rock, because it reminds me of when I was building it, I went into a VC with the lovely feather fetcher, which we've done a few things with, a few videos with, and the first thing he said when I showed him this house was, it looks a little bit like this dude. Looks a little bit like this fella. And I didn't plan that. That wasn't intentional. It was completely unintentional. Show me your face. Look at him. Yeah, he's going home. It was not intentional. This is not meant to be his house, but it does look a lot like a wandering trader. So that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. This dude. Oh my goodness. I mean, at least he's got a nice house. But yeah, that's about all we have time for today for this video. I hope you like the house and the detail. I actually have been doing a lot with different houses in terms of like the detail and this kind of style because I've been very much enjoying it. Maybe it's over detailed, maybe, who knows, but I like it. It's very fun to build. So there's some more of those houses with different designs and different stories coming around very soon. So stay tuned for that. I promise they'll be soon. But yeah, with that being said, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for staying around for this long. Let me know what you think and what I should build next. Even some color palettes, that would be really interesting. Would love to have you here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!